Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to Heiko Shaves. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. In the past I've mentioned that if I try out a brand new razor that I like to go first of all with my standard blade, which is the Wilkinson Sword, just to keep things consistent so that I can compare one razor against another, at least in my head, and kind of give you a little bit more of an idea how a Edwin Jagger compares to a Merkur razor, because I've used the same blade in both, and so I have a little bit of a better understanding how they actually compare to each other. But then I've also said that if we reuse a razor, we combine a once before used razor with a new aftershave soap combo, or if we review a brand new razor, we might use a soap or an aftershave that we have already used before. This time I want to do something a little bit differently. I want to try out blades that I have not used before, at least not on video. So here's a pack of feather blades. We have another type of feather blade, different packaging, but I think they are more or less identical blades in here. And you guys have been asking me to, put a little bit more variety into the shaves. So we're going to use a very well-known Merkur razor, the 34C HD, which is a very beginner-friendly, mild razor that anyone can use. Of course, most people, when they start out, they make mistakes, they cut themselves, then they get discouraged. If you pick up one of those and you put a mild blade in there, you will be good to go. You can figure out wet shaving with a DE safety razor without injuring yourself, without major irritations. And then once you get your game up a little bit, your experience level increases, and you get more comfortable with this whole thing, then you can reach for more aggressive blades like the feather to spice up this little razor here. The Merkur 34C has been around for ages. It's a very well-known razor. It's a two-piece design. So you have the little knob here at the bottom to take the top loose, and then this is how it comes apart. 2 alignment pins and the threaded end here in the middle, and then you just put a blade in there. Material choice wise, it's not super special. It's a zinc alloy cast head. I think the handle has some brass in it. I'm not 100% sure, but overall, it's a 30, 40, sometimes depending on where you buy it, $50 razor, and for that price level, it's really nothing special, but it's a very well proven design. The head design, actually fairly similar to, what do we have here? This is an Edwin Jagger. They're very similar. They are kind of similar in their shaving performance. The Edwin Jagger is maybe a smidge more aggressive. And since we just recently started this rating system from 1 to 5, 1 which is mild and 5 is really aggressive, I would definitely put this into the 1 category. It is a very friendly razor. It will not hurt you unless you're really messing up. So today we're going to put a feather blade in there. I already took one out of the box. It's right here. And then I still have some soap samples and aftershave samples from Stirling that I bought already a while ago. Stirling, it's a small business, family owned, family run, and they make everything in-house. And I actually increased the production value here. I have a computer sitting next to me now, so I can actually read off of their webpage. If you buy a full-size Stirling soap like this one here in a 5.8 ounce jar here, is it 5.8 ounces? Yeah, 5.8 ounces as it says down there, costs only $14.25. And this is going to be enough soap to shave. I mean, if you shave every single day and you're always wet shaving with brush and everything, you could probably shave with this a year straight without running out. This is a lot of, this has been used, of course, a few times already. This is a huge amount of soap. But they do sell samples, and let's see what the sample size is here. Sample pug, 1 ounce, is only $4, and this is a good chunk of soap. With this here, you can probably shave a few weeks in a row. And then I also have the matching little aftershave, which is 5 milliliters. So this is going to be enough for 6, 7 splashes, depending on how much aftershave you actually want to put in your face after a shave. So you could probably dump this entire bottle in your hand and get it on your face in one sitting. But this is a good sample size, and this is a perfect sample size because if you remember, let me grab it. I showed you Stirling sells those little tins that you can put soap pugs into. Here, this has deep blue in it, deep blue Z, also Stirling soap. A full-size pug will fit in it, but also the sample size here. Then I use chocolate tins. This is a German chocolate. I like a caffeine chocolate that truck drivers eat. And I like it. And I buy that occasionally. And once I use a tin up, I usually use it for soap pugs. And then, you know, they give you the nice sticker here on the front, and I'm always able to transfer it over. So very easy way to store your soaps so they don't lose all the scent if you would just leave it open like this. So Benjamin Franklin. Let's talk about that a little bit. Here in the United States, most everyone, of course, knows who Benjamin Franklin was. Statesman, inventor. He brokered some deals with the French to support the United States in the war for independence. One of the founding fathers. And he was also involved in printing presses and printing businesses and all that kind of stuff. So a very well-known figure in the history of the United States. Stirling Soap makes the Benjamin Franklin soap and aftershave, and kind of as a joke, the soap smells like an older gentleman's pantaloons at the end of a hot July day in Philadelphia drafting important documents with no air conditioner. That's on their webpage. Of course, that's supposed to be a joke. So the description is tongue-in-cheek. It smells like a wonderful blend of frankincense, benzoin, nutmeg, and clove. It doesn't actually smell like sweaty old man pants. So as of March 3rd, 2015, we have been averaging about 2 to 3 inquiries per week as to why we would make a soap that smells like an older gentleman's trousers. That's funny. So ingredients in this soap is beef tallow, stearic acid, distilled water, castor oil, potassium hydroxide. That is a non-organic chemical. I just looked it up what it is because I like to know those things. It's an electrolyte in alkaline batteries. It's used in soap production, so it's very common. They, of course, put only very low percentage of that in there. It's not a chunk of potassium hydroxide. There's also sodium hydroxide in here. Those are all chemicals that are very common in soap production. They also have vegetable glycerin, essential oil, almond oil, shea butter, coconut milk, lanolin, and I already mentioned beef tallow. By the way, Stirling Soap Company, they currently have 57 different shave soaps on their webpage, and they have 49 different aftershaves on their webpage. That's quite a selection. That would take you a while to get through all those samples. I mean, you could, $4 a piece, you could probably afford to get one sample per soap, and they will sell that to you. The nice thing is they have sample size of every single soap they sell. Not just some, but you can literally, go through it and eventually you have covered all their product line. And then the aftershave, let's go over to that. The aftershave, of course, Benjamin Franklin, and they also mention the sweaty pants from Philadelphia. Ingredients, denatured alcohol, witch hazel, which is nice. That's like a skin conditioner, so to speak. Essential oil, aloe, glycerin, and hydrovans. So yeah, don't see anything scary in there. The ingredients are kind of common, very standard. And yeah, that's really good. The full-size aftershave, 100 milliliters, is only $13.65. So for $27 or $28, you get a full-size soap container like this one here and a full-size bottle of aftershave like this. That is pretty good value, I would say. All right, we're going to use a 3D printed soap container that I made. So I'm into 3D printing also. So here's a little container. We're just going to put this puck in here after I unwrap it, of course. I already have water sitting here. My DS Cosmetic synthetic brush has been sitting in warm water just so that it's warm. And we're going to get going. So I'll pause you for a second, just get everything arranged and the blade loaded. And then we're going to get going. All right, so I have the sample soap puck here in this container. Again, I was able to get the sticker off and put it on the lid so I know what's in it. Then I started unwrapping here the feather blade, but then I figured, you know, not everyone has loaded a two-piece safety razor before. There is a little bit of wax on this blade. That's supposed to keep the blade in the packaging and stick the paper to the blade. So like I said, two-piece razor, you take the top out. There are all the alignment pins and this threaded pin in the middle. And then you grab your razor and just stick it right on there. Make sure you don't cut yourself, and then you just tighten it up. I always take a look at the alignment, you know, the blade gap and all that stuff. But here on a Merkur 34C looks great, tightened up. And here, since we're talking about a small sample that I'm not too worried about, we're going to go right into this container here. So here's my brush, and I usually just get rid of some excess water, or else it's just going to make too big of a mess, and then we're going to go right in here. And today I will omit the pre-shave. I think the 34C is gentle enough that we don't need to really worry about it. This is a softer soap. It's not super hard. So if you spend too much time in here, you will pick up so much soap that you're literally overloading your brush. And then it just turns into a messy mess in your face. Still picking up some water here. All right, so this is preloaded really well. So now we're just going to get my whiskers wet. And then let's lather this up. I really like this DS Cosmetic brush. The knot or the bristles are very soft to the skin, but they have enough backbone that you can actually lather with this thing and get a pretty good result out of it. Yeah, like that. Maybe a little bit more water. All right, like that. So, Benjamin Franklin Sterling Soap, HD Merkur 34C, and a feather blade. Let's do it. Yeah, it definitely makes it a little spicier. You can tell that there's a sharp blade in there. No tugging. Tugging, I keep saying that in those videos, but tugging is a sign for the blade not being able to cut right through your stubbles or through your whiskers. So if you feel tugging, just switch to a sharper blade. And my first pass is, of course, always with a grain. And I have figured out over time which direction my beard growth goes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then with a grain down here is this way. All right, let's do a little inspection here after pass one. And that is already pretty good. There's of course still some left here. Especially this section here is pretty dense. My growth is. But overall, pretty happy with this. All right, let's lather up for pass number 2. Let's get some more water in here. I have this little historic emesis basin. You know, emesis basin is used in hospitals for people to puke into, but I found it in a antique store, and it's a steel emesis basin, enameled, and I like the vintage look of it. And of course I cleaned it and disinfected it, and now it just serves as my lathering water. So I put warm water in there, or cold water in the summer, and that's where I dip my brush into when I'm lathering, because I don't want to go back into the water that I have in my sink where all my stubbles are floating around in, right? So I have a separate water container just for my brush. So lathered up again, it looks good. And we're going to go across the grain. And then the second pass already will feel a little bit more gentle, more friendly. Because there's just less material to cut. So the blade is, you know, not doing as much as before. And on a early morning, like 6 a.m. when I shave, I really only do 2 passes. I do with the grain and across the grain, and then I'm usually clean enough so that I'm presentable, at least at work. Nobody cares really. Here on my upper lip, I only do with the grain. A little bit across the grain under my nose. But that's all I do. Last year when I started DE shaving, I was still young and dumb, and I would go against the grain up here and then just get razor burn, and that was not good. So on my second pass, I usually also do with the grain again here on my neck. You can also see how I always just hold the razor with like 2 fingers. I've seen other YouTube shavers that, you know, when they go this way, it's fine. But when they go up the grain on this side or against the grain on this side, they literally hold this like, I don't know, almost like a hammer. But I rather, you know, I do this 2 fingers, 3 finger kind of, and then I do 3 fingers over here in the opposite direction. So, you know, this looks very uncomfortable when you're contorting your wrist to bring the razor into the right location. So like this instead of like this. You know, it's just technique, I guess. It's preference also. So whatever works for you, you know, I'm just pointing it out because we might have some people here that are new to this hobby here, and maybe they want to try out a few different ways of using a safety razor. So now we have 2 passes in, and this is, yeah, this is good enough for 6 a.m. But it's not 6 a.m., right? So we gotta do spreading it out a little bit, get the soap out of my ears, and lather up again. We still have enough soap here in the brush to lather up one more time. All right. And now we're going to do the 3rd pass with our Merkur 34C feather combo. And you can hear there's still stuff left. Very little pressure I use here. There's still stuff left. So even though this is such a mild razor, it is efficient enough. It has enough blade exposure and blade gap to actually shave. I have come across some razors that, on some adjustables actually, they're so mild in setting 1 that they just don't shave. But here on this one, it's mild but efficient. It's good. The 34C, you can't go wrong with this thing. It's relatively inexpensive. It's made in Germany, which I'm, of course, you know, I like that because I am also made in Germany. Oh, you guys remember the video about the My Blades brand of razor blades that left a little bit of a, you know, made me a little upset that it kind of insinuated that the blades were actually made in Germany, but in real life they're made in Pakistan. And it's not really written on the packaging, but at least the company, when I asked, they were upfront about it. So now I have both versions of the blades, the silver and the platinum version of My Blades blades. And I got the silver blades from Wally, one of the subscribers, as a channel support. And we're going to do a comparison one of these days. I just want to have 2 identical razors that I can put a silver and a platinum in and then see if we can actually tell a difference. Oh, you know what? I'm already forgetting what I'm doing here. We're doing against the grain, so we want to do that on my neck here too. That's the toughest section in my face here. That's where I would nick myself if I use a too aggressive razor, or if I make mistakes. But I didn't. Very good. That's 34C with a sharp, aggressive feather blade. Seems to be a pretty good combo. Yeah, 100%. 100% good. Smooth as a baby butt up here. Here in my neck section, I have like a growth direction that goes that way. It's really hard to achieve 100%. And if I try to get 100% smooth here, I will have razor burn after that. So that's why I do 3 passes and then I just live with the remains. But up here, 100%. So yeah, good combo. If you have a mild razor that's just not quite efficient enough to give you this clean shaven feel, just put a sharp feather blade in there. You can totally do that. If you have a really aggressive razor, I would not recommend it. But hey, I'm totally new to feather blades. This was my first, I think this is the first video with a feather blade in the razor. But that definitely worked and I like it. Still, the downside that I do not like about the Merkur is the pointy edges here. You know, I like it rounded off. This could be a little bit more rounded off. But overall, good razor. All right, let me rinse off. Yeah, very good soap too. The scent is very subdued, very mild. Here, let's give it a little bit more sniff test here. Yeah, nutty, you know, as it was saying here on the webpage, nutmeg, benzoline sounds so chemical, but it's really from tree bark of a certain type of plant or tree. So yeah, very, very woodsy, kind of a woodsy scent. Very good. Lots of residual slickness too. I really realized that when I try to rinse off the soap at the end, and you really have to take some time with warm water or cold water, whatever you do, to get it off your face. That's the residual slickness, which gives your skin protection when the blade goes over it. And now we're going to try the Benjamin Franklin Aftershave Splash. All right, let's give this a little sniff here. Yeah, it's very masculine. Very, I don't know, I can't describe it. Here, let's open up the scent description one more time of the aftershave. What they say. So they have glacial menthol and regular menthol as well. This is the non-menthol version, I believe. And again, they just make it's actually a very unique scent that reminds a few of my testers of root beer float. I don't know if I would say that smells like a root beer float, but it's a wonderful blend of frankincense, benzoin, nutmeg, and clove. Yeah, I'll go with that. All right, let's put some in my hand here. Very good. Yeah, it's woodsy and maybe a little floral. No, not floral really. It's a woodsy, masculine scent, which I'm kind of partial to. Not my favorite. Not going to be my favorite for sure. A little bit of the alcohol burn. Of course, it's an alcohol-based aftershave. You will always have that, most likely, after a shave. But yeah, overall, really good products. Like it a lot. And with, what did I say? 57 different soaps and 49 different aftershaves. I guarantee you're going to find your favorite in there. If you want to go through all the, what are the little bottles? The little scent, 5 milliliter sample is $3.25. So for $3 here, $3.25, and $4 for the soap sample, or $4.10, you can have a set to try out and work your way through the product catalog. So overall, I'm pretty happy how this all turned out. Feather blade in a mild razor is definitely a good idea. No tugging whatsoever, because this blade is so sharp that it goes right through your stubbles with ease and makes this really mild razor a very efficient powerhouse without causing anything. I don't have a single nick. So try that out. Give it a whirl. Just to give you an idea here real quick, I have those little storage bins in my cabinet down below the sink here, where I keep all the blades and brushes and razors and whatnots. This is my blade selection here. And lots of the stuff came from you guys, channel supporters that sent me stuff. And there's going to be a lot of stuff that we can try out. Of course, we have already gone through a few of those, Sharp and Parker and Bic, and we have Persona, Derby, Astra, Sheffield Manufacturing Corp. That's some vintage stuff, yeah, from New Jersey. The Voskhod blades we have used. So, oh yeah, here's Assured from the dollar store. Don't use those. Just don't use them. I should have thrown them away, but I put them in here. The Willys blades from India that come with pearl flexies. They're okay blades. I don't think it's anything really to write home about, but it's a usable blade, that's for sure. So I have the selection, and we will go through those as we go through other razors. You guys let me know what you want to see. Make recommendations. Tell me what your favorite blades are, and maybe one of these days it's going to be in one of those videos. Alrighty guys, that was the shave for today. A well-known razor with a very sharp blade and a new Stirling Soap product that we just tried out. And maybe you like it. Try it out, get some samples from Stirling. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.